Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast. How are you doing, Mr. Jeff?
I'm all right. Speaking of horror, my eyes won't stop leaking. Um,
Your eyes are crying tears of blood. Like, what's going on with your
yeah,
eyes?
pretty much. I don't know, my right eye. Every time I get really cold, this happens.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. My body is not used to this New England fall slash winter cold, I guess. And I got a little problem with my sinuses.
Really?
But other than that, in general, I'm doing pretty well.
So yeah, this is the first real season you've spent because like you're in Austin, Texas, and you're in California before that for what, like almost 20 years, right?
Long time, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, let's see. I moved out of the East Coast. I lived in Boston for what till I was like 27. Then I moved out to LA for a year, moved to New York for 2 years, moved back to LA, and I was there for I don't know, like 14 years, and then Texas for 3 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I this should be in my blood, but it's not. I mean, California, LA, that it just you just get acclimated to it being nice all the time very quickly.
Yeah, definitely, man. I got to be honest, like the weather in like Southern California is pretty perfect, honestly.
I mean, that's really the only reason to live there that I can think of. At first, it bummed me out. Like I missed the fall, I missed the changing of the seasons, and now that I'm in it, I'm like, man, this shit kind of sucks.
When you guys when I loved LA. Like I
Yeah,
used to love going out there, man. I got especially when all you guys lived there, but no one's left anymore. It's like the only person that lives in the LA area now is Aaron Harris, I think, right?
Aaron still lives there. Mike Gallagher still
Oh,
lives there.
Gallagher. Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw both of them when I went out for a little visit.
Yeah, Jay Bennett moved away.
He's
He
in
moved
Portland
away.
now.
He's in Portland.
Yeah.
You know, Cliff moved away.
Yep, he's
You
in
know,
Ohio.
yeah,
Turner's in Seattle.
Turner's in the Washington State. Um, Mark is still there.
Is he?
I think Mark's still in
I
LA.
don't, I
Yeah.
don't think he is. I've heard he's in Vermont.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. That's a
Yeah.
development for me. Yeah.
That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Every,
pretty bad at keeping in
yeah.
touch.
Every now and then I get like a FaceTime from him. So I think the last time I heard from him was like two years ago, 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, after the fall of Hydra Head, didn't really see him too much, and occasionally I'll hear something here and there about him, but that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm down, man. The weather, it's like that season, dude. I'm into it. It's cool.
Yeah,
Weather's great. It's like fall colors. I mean, the peak is past, but it's still
exactly.
it's still pretty awesome though.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's just a week after October, and like Danzig comes on the radio, and I'm like, I don't want to listen to it as much as I did 2 weeks ago. Or I don't want to watch a horror movie as badly as I did every day in October. It's weird. But I'm trying. I'm trying over here. I'm annoyed by the Christmas decorations that came up the day after Halloween.
Dude, actually, it's funny because like we kind of waited to the last minute to do Halloween type stuff here. We weren't even planning to be living in this place by now. We were
Right.
planning to be like in our new spot, which is I'll tell you more about that later offline. But like, yeah, we were planning on being in New York State right now, so we were kind of like,
Right.
yeah, let's our shit's all in like storage and this and that. So on Halloween we went out and bought candy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we went and in the stores were literally putting up Christmas decorations while we were there, man. It was crazy.
I don't
People, I
know.
guess we forget about, well, I mean, in the United States, they just bypass Thanksgiving now.
Pretty much. Yeah, no one cares about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't really care about Thanksgiving. I don't really care about Christmas either,
Hey,
being
man, it's a
honest.
fucking day off for me, man. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the day off. And
Yeah.
the whole time change, setting the clock back an hour, fucks me up for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I get tired and I'm like, it's only like 9:30. And I'm just like, dude, it's like, you know, And then,
dude.
but I wake up at like 3:30 in the morning and it's like, fuck, I have to acclimate myself. I still, it's hard to like make yourself stay in bed sometimes, like during the week, when
Yeah.
you know you got to get up at like 5:30 or something like that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like last night I was like, oh man, I need some stuff in the store. I can't go to the grocery store. It's like 11 o'clock at night and it's like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, the darkness in the afternoon too. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yep.
that first time you leave work and it's dark is just like the most depressing thing ever.
Yeah.
I hate
I
it.
personally like it, man.
Really.
Yeah, I like that it's dark by 5 o'clock here, I don't know. It's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, I like to keep the house pitch black, but I like it when it's light outside. It makes no sense, but it's just how I am, man. I like leaving work and the sun is still out. I don't like driving home, putting my headlights on. Fucking it bums me out. I'll get used to it, but I'll complain about it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
You
So
know.
what else you been up to, man? Anything interesting?
I wish I could say I was up to something interesting, but not really. A few things. As you know, Brandon Legion and I are doing this like a little sub series where
Nice.
we are covering the short story anthologies of Stephen King, starting with his newest and working our way back.
Dude, that's going to be going for a long time. That's
Yes,
awesome.
yeah, we did one last year, and then I kind of took a little hiatus from doing much of anything publicly. And Brandon hit me up. He's like, "Hey, we should continue our little series." So I picked up the Bizarre Bad Dreams, which is the one right before the newest one. And
I haven't even read that actually.
yeah, I'm not too far into it. And yeah, I don't know, man. When you go back in Stephen King's first few collections, every story is just banger after banger. Like, say you like every time you read one, you're like, that's my new favorite. No, wait, that one's my new favorite. Then his anthologies started to get little bit more scattershot. And this one, so far, there's just no like classic like King chiller where you're done reading it and you go, fuck, man, that got to me. That I haven't read that one yet in this book. I'm not saying there isn't one, but so far, no. So I'm deep in that. We're gonna do that episode end of this year, early next year. So I got some reading to do.
Have you read Revival yet?
I have not. I haven't though. I did find it. I was looking for a DVD or Blu-ray the other day in my basement, and I was digging through boxes and saw that. I was like, "Oh yeah, I bought this and completely forgot about it."
I cannot stress how much I really, really loved that novel by him.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a few times. I know Mike
Yeah.
Flanagan was trying to get it made into a film.
Yeah, that would be great. Flanagan would be the guy to do it probably too.
Yeah, it fell through. Like funding, I don't know what happened,
It's
but it
probably too
was.
dark, man. It's like a bleak ass movie, man. Or the novel would be is a bleak ending, just uncomfortable ending.
See, I think he is uniquely geared, like wired to do Stephen King's like schmaltzier stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
dark, but it has like a happy feel to it at the end. I think Flanagan does that stuff really well.
Yeah, probably I think you're on point there with that. Yeah.
I think even Doctor Sleep, which I don't remember that well, but I thought I remember it having not so dark of an ending. Thought they put like a positive. So I could be very wrong.
Yeah, actually, the yeah, you're right. Yep. I was trying to remember too. That's not one of my favorites, but yeah, it had a positive spin at the end for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that. I mean, that might be worth taking a look at again. I haven't seen that since it came out, I don't think.
Yeah, it's I haven't had a desire to revisit that, but I think I probably will at some point.
Yeah. So I've been reading that. Uh like we talked about my Interpol kick last week. Now I'm on
Yep.
a Radiohead kick. I guess Radiohead played their first show in 7 years, and I hadn't realized it's been 7 years since we've had a Radiohead album. And you're not really a fan, are
No,
you?
I tried, dude. I remember back in the 90s when everyone was jumping up and down about Radiohead, and it was like I just couldn't get into it, man, And I don't know. I tried a couple of years ago, it's just not my bag, you know?
Yeah, I understand. It's not for everyone. I am a huge fan of Radiohead. Have been for since the 90s, so a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to watch, I guess Soundgarden got inducted into the Rock and Roll
Oh,
Hall of Fame this weekend.
that's very cool. And that's a band that I think that deserves that for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you and I are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet.
Right. Yeah.
Yet. Keyword being yet.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's ridiculous, but I enjoy watching those things.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that it happened already. I just noticed that a lot of people were posting photos of the band. I was like, oh, cool. I love. They've always been one of my favorite bands out of that genre for
You
sure.
know, yeah, when grunge was hitting is right when I was getting into underground punk
Yeah,
and basement shows. So I kind of missed that whole wave and just thought of Soundgarden as some cheesy radio rock band. But like sometime, actually right around when ISIS started forming, our band, not the terrorist organization, in like ni 97. I know like Turner was like really into Soundgarden and like I kind of went like back in and was like, oh, actually, yeah, this is really good.
I discovered that band like before they were really like like when Louder Than Love was a major label record, but it didn't feel like a major label record. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that record
Yeah.
came out, but it was still being like presented next to like underground music, Like I would go to a record store and there was you would see it next to like more underground stuff. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I was like, oh, this looks cool. And like some dude was like, oh yeah, you should check this out. If you like, whatever, like fucking Saint Vitus and, The Obsessed and shit like that, which I do like.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, this is really, really cool, man. And it was like to me, it kind of fit in this weird place that really resonated with me. Like it wasn't death metal, which I was like way into at the time.
Hmm.
And it wasn't like kind of like, like that noisier, like AMREP style stuff,
Yeah.
but it kind of was like Sabbath with like punk rock kids making the music in some ways. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No,
And
absolutely.
that's kind of what the band is. Cause like if you like read interviews with all those dudes, all those Seattle guys are all into like Black Flag and like Minor Threat and and then heavy metal and hard rock.
Yeah. I mean, they had major indie cred. They were on SST, you
Yeah,
know?
dude. And that record's sick too, man.
Yeah, that's a good record. That's when I went back to like after the fact. Like I knew their major label stuff and then kind of worked backwards.
Yeah, so I mean they had like cred in that way, and then they just were like a band that I just kept listening to, and then I was like, oh, they're awesome. The first time I saw them was opening for Voivod, man.
Wow. Wow.
It was Voivod, Faith No More, and Soundgarden at the Paradise in Boston.
Wow.
Yeah, they were the first band that went on, I think,
So that must have been
like
Faith No
80,
More.
89 maybe.
Oh, so Mike Patton was singing for him by then.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Wow, what a show.
Yeah, dude, because now it's coming back to me. It's like I went back home for like I was in college, so I went back home, and there was for a brief period of time there was another record store in Carmel that where I grew up, and this kid in there that worked there was like he knew about all these bands like the Screaming Trees and like
Great
Soundgarden.
band.
Yeah, it wasn't Malcolm's store. It was in Carmel. It was in Carmel, New York.
Oh, okay. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with that one. I'm
it
obviously
only
very
ex
familiar with Trash.
it existed for like a year because I remember next summer I went back home and it was gone. And
Ah,
yeah, so he had all the stuff, man. I think that's pretty much how I found out about all those bands was from that dude. And yeah, so I went back to college and that tour was happening, and that's when I went to go. I saw them play, and it was fucking awesome. That's like actually the first time I saw Voivod too, and Faith No More and Soundgarden.
never saw Voivod. Not yet.
Oh, I've seen it many times over the years.
Yeah, man. I love that. I everyone I know who's seen them has never seen them play to more than like 200 people if they're headlining.
Yeah, that show was not very well attended, if I remember correctly. I mean, Paradise is small,
It is.
it's a
Yeah.
very small venue. And then, but I saw Voivod with Yob a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like there was like 600 people at the show, but that's
Oh,
primarily I think for Yob fans,
I
really.
was gonna say Yob is pretty popular band.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty big. So
Voivod was a band's band. Like they always,
yeah,
oh, that's their curse. They're always gonna be the band that dudes in bands like, but like general fans just don't seem to get it.
yeah, totally. Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah, on most one of the most underappreciated bands of all time, I
I
think.
100% agree. But yeah, so that was cool. That's good that Soundgarden is being recognized,
Yeah, good for them. And if you're listening and you're out there, you might want to throw Tombs or ISIS into the conversation
Yeah.
of future inductees. I mean, I think we more than deserve it. Um, so just keep that in mind, people. What
Yeah.
about you, man? What have you been up to?
Well, the Tombs record's out.
It is.
There's the Holy Mountain packages. We've relaunched our store on Holy Mountain, and you can buy the LP plus a zine. There's a package which includes interview and some of my original writing. Um,
Hmm.
and the various T-shirts bearing the album artwork by Selden Hunt is available.
The
You know,
Great Selden Hunt.
yep, long sleeves and short, regular T-shirts and hoodies, that sort of stuff. And if you like skulls and darkness, definitely check that out. Also, I just cut vocals for the new Hollow Lands project I've been working on with Drew Goth and Carl, and that's pretty much all we need to do is get the mixing done, and it's two songs, single. We're gonna be putting that out later this month, and then Andrew Hernandez, former Tombs drummer, tracked the drums for the next Scorpion Throne EP.
Wow.
So I got work on that coming up this month, and that's gonna come out late in the year. So it's important to get all this stuff out there, just if anyone, the three or four people out there who enjoy this stuff will be able to check it out online. None of this is all independently released stuff. Like it's no label behind it, none of that kind of stuff. And then I've relaunched my ambient project, Vasilek.
Oh, wow. That's been going on for a long time.
Well, I haven't done anything with it for years. And
Yeah.
then, Translation Lost put out a CD version of some of not actually all the material that I have out there is not on the Translation Lost release, but that came out like kind of shortly after the Crone record came out on Translation Lost.
Oh, so they had two multi-platinum records in a
Two,
row.
yeah, exactly. Two
Yeah.
multi-platinum records in a row. And then I'm picking that up again. I don't know. I just feel inspired to make kind of creepy like soundtrack music again.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I've been very slowly working on the next Crone record, 13 years after the first one. Something just hit me coming back here. It was like, I just want to drone out again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's like the season, I don't know. It's just like the winter's coming, and I associate the Vasilek stuff with winter. And one of the interesting notes about that is going back to the Tombs record, Savage Gold. There's a song called Death Tripper on there, and
Hmm.
that's originally started out as a Vasilek song that I
Yeah.
recorded and finished mixing, and I was like gonna claim it as a Vasilek track, but then we were getting ready to record Savage Gold, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I like to see this song with a full band treatment instead of just like a drum machine and like me playing all the instruments. But I gotta say, I think I like the Vasilek track version better.
Really
Yeah,
interesting. There's a song on Oceanic. Um, God, I think it's called False Light. That started as a House of Low Culture track, Aaron Turner's long-running solo project.
yeah, yeah.
Like one of the riffs, and it was just it's like, oh, this kind of sounds like it could be an ISIS riff. So there you have
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Everyone does
it's
it.
everyone, yeah, and it's like there's something about the Vasilek version that just seems like just this colder and like more like isolated feeling and claustrophobic feeling. And I don't know, I really I think it serves that song better as like a solo one man operation.
Yeah, it's cool when you have multiple projects. You're like, this isn't for my main thing, but this could go over here.
Yeah.
And I wrote a lot of stuff during the ISIS times where I thought this isn't ISIS. This is going to be for something else. And a lot of those things became Palm songs.
Oh, interesting to know.
Yeah, some of those Palm things you hear, those are very old ideas.
See how that works?
Yeah, see how it works, people?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on to those
Uh,
riffs.
yeah, totally. And then I don't know, one night earlier this week, I just had the inclination to reread Haunter of the Dark and Shambler from the Stars, and I think that came out as a result of our episode we did on Strange Harvest.
I meant to add, I saw that this morning. You
Yeah.
posted that, and I was like, that's from that movie we just watched.
Yeah, Shambler from the Stars, as I mentioned in the episode, is a Robert Bloch short story that came out in Weird Tales, like way,
Yeah.
way back, like 100 years ago at this point, pretty much. It's literally 100 years ago, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, like when you think of Lovecraft stuff, that's literally 100 years ago.
And then Lovecraft wrote a story called The Haunter of the Dark, which is kind of like in some ways a sequel to that story. So
That's
the
right. Yeah, you talked about that on the podcast too, I
yeah,
think.
so the
Yeah.
the two short stories go hand in hand. So I reread them a couple nights ago, and I don't know, it's that stuff never gets old, man. It's infinitely rereadable, all that material.
Oh man. I've read the same Lovecraft stories over and over. Same with Legati.
Yeah. Oh,
I,
Legati, definitely. Yeah.
every October I read The Bungalow House. I read The
Hmm.
Shadow of the Darkness. I
Oh yeah.
read, Teatro Grotesto. I read all that same stories over and over again. And never get sick of them.
Yeah, they I get you get new things out of it every time, especially over the course of the years, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
yeah. And cheers to Chiroptera Press for keeping all this stuff in print and putting out brand new editions of all these books.
hell yeah.
Anyone who's listening to Everything Went Black, I've had Chris on and Jonathan, the two main guys for Cadaver Records and Chiroptera. I've had those guys on a bunch of times talking about the record label that does the spoken versions of all this great stuff, and then the publications, the represses of all these great books.
They do really awesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, speaking of physical media, I forgot to say, our mutual friend Randy stopped by yesterday
Oh, cool.
and dropped off a very late birthday gift.
Oh,
And, better late than never, I suppose. It is the Vinegar Syndrome new Blu-ray 4K version of Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
oh, hell yeah, dude.
Great, great movie. I know you and Mike covered it some
Yeah.
time ago. Filmed right here in Connecticut.
Yep.
Uh, Shout out to Vinegar Syndrome. I think they do amazing stuff, physical media, man. Like, even if you never heard of the movie, you look at the packaging, you're like, I want that.
They're also located in Connecticut, right? Aren't they in like Stamford or something like that?
They are in Bridgeport, yes.
Bridgeport. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a cool store here called the Archive, that I go to once every month or two, pretty much.
I got to go. Paul Ledney is a big well he's tight, I guess, with the guys that do Vinegar Syndrome and the Archive. So he's always like, "Oh yeah, we should hang out and go to the Archive." So
Yeah, I
yeah,
met
we
one of the dudes from the Vinegar Syndrome at the horror convention I was just at. Very nice guy. We talked about Skinny Puppy.
oh
Um,
cool.
well, I was telling because I had the tenant. I was like, this band I used to love samples from this record a lot, and he didn't ever hear of Skinny Puppy, so I was blathering to him like an idiot about this, you know, old industrial band.
Yeah. Let's see. Other than that, I watched the new Frankenstein that came
Oh,
out on Netflix. Have you seen that yet?
I have not. That's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Is it maybe worth covering or
It's definitely worth covering.
okay?
I will, with that in mind, I will not give you my full rundown of the movie. But yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely worth covering.
I'm 50-50 on Del Toro, I gotta say. I love some of his work and I hate some of his work.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, and we can talk about Frankenstein for sure. And it's
Cool.
I've been looking forward to this coming out for months, and I'll leave it at that.
What's funny is I've been looking forward to it too, and then I just completely forgot that that came out this weekend. And I'm like racking my brain trying to find something to watch, and that doesn't even cross my fucking mind. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, and then I've been checking out Welcome to Derry too.
Okay, all right. What are your thoughts? Because I'm hearing mixed things.
I love it actually. I think it's great. I look
Yeah.
forward. I have no idea where it's going, and which is cool. And I think it's definitely I really really like it.
Okay. You
Yeah.
know what? Fuck, I'm gonna watch that today. There's what
Fucking
two or
why haven't you watched it, man?
I have. You know what? I didn't really care for the It movies at all.
Okay, all right.
Um, I thought the first one was kind of bad, and I thought the second one was worse. And so the show, which I believe is the same filmmaker, the Muschietti guy.
Yeah.
I think he made the Flash film as well, which was pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so all that just, I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just not interested. I mean,
Hmm.
I even kind of rewatched the original
It
It a few years ago, and not, I mean, the nostalgia is there, but it's just not that good when you really
agreed.
comes. Yeah, okay, all right,
Yeah,
good. I'm not
I agree
crazy.
on
Yeah,
that. I feel nostalgic for that movie, that show too. The mini series definitely.
yeah. I
It
mean,
doesn't
yeah.
come close to like Salem, how sick Salem's Lot was.
No, no. Salem's Lot is like the that's like the high point of like made for TV American horror anyway. I always put The Woman in Black as the best made for TV horror.
Yeah,
Uh
I agree with you on that.
yeah, overall, but the best American one I would say is Salem's Lot that I can think of.
Yeah. I I am not the biggest It movie fan,
Yeah,
honestly. I enjoyed, reading the novel, but the I don't think it's really translated well to film. But this is true. It exists in the overarching Stephen King world. Like it's not necessarily, it takes place in Derry, but
right.
the It sort of thing is more of like a backdrop to the story because it kind of ties in like a bunch of different characters that exist in the Stephen King universe.
Hmm.
So that in keeping that in mind, it's like more of like it lives in that world, but the storyline is bigger than just it. Or it's like it takes place over like it starts off like 60 years ago.
Okay. Is it connected to the recent films?
I'm going to say yes, but there hasn't been any real indication of that yet.
All right. Well, it's the same actor, I think, playing Pennywise.
Yeah,
Okay.
Skarsgård. Yeah.
He's great, by the way. He's great in
Not
fucking everything.
I told both Skarsgårds are great.
All of them. I think there's like
All of them.
five of them.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. Yeah. What's also funny about what's his name? The guy who plays Pennywise Skarsgård.
Yeah, I
Yep.
forget Bill, maybe.
Yeah.
He's still, yeah,
He
he was the Crow, he was Nosferatu.
yeah. Bill Skarsgård. Okay. When they shoot him, he's like a 6'2" jacked fucking guy, apparently.
Yeah, it shows.
I mean, he's like this Viking looking motherfucker. But when they shoot him, they use like this weird forced perspective to like make him look smaller.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like like I remember going to the premiere for A History of Violence and standing in line to get a drink. And William Hurt is there, and Ed Harris is there, and William Hurt is fucking gigantic, and Ed Harris is shorter than me. But you don't see that when you see them on screen.
Yeah, I know. You see like you see them looking like regular people, like normal looking guys, and then their perspective switched. Like Ed Harris, they kind of portray him as being like a larger guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just that always just blows me away when you see these people in real life. You're like, oh, you're just like this. You just look like a dude. Like,
Yeah. The other actually Skarsgård was in the other Stephen King, the ill-fated Stephen King show that happened. I think that was on Hulu.
oh, right. It was like, I think Annie Wilkes was a character in one
Yeah.
season. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of went dipped in and out of that. My girlfriend at the time was watching it. And I caught a couple episodes from the first season, a couple from the
Yeah.
second, but not enough to really like rope me in and dedicate 10, 12 hours to it.
I want to revisit it because I only watched like maybe a handful of episodes and I kind of tapped out on it. But yeah, it's even more apparent that they're using forced perspective to make him seem smaller in that show.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's certain scenes where you can see that he's intentionally like crouching over in some ways, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
whatever.
an interesting technique. I remember watching a little thing about it on the Lord of the Rings extras or something like that. How they made, the hobbits look so small. It was really interesting. It was really just creative camera angles and, like you said, forced perspective, which, yeah, it works.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really all I've been kind of kind of doing is those things, a lot of music stuff which has been going on, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's for you, especially. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and any touring coming up?
No, we're
No?
trying to plan something for next year. Um, yeah, I mean, but back a couple of years ago, we would have already done like 70 dates probably by now, but like just some behind the scenes things going on right now. Just trying to get nothing bad, positive
Right.
thing. But I kind of need to be home right now just to like put some big events in place here. That's why there's been no touring.
Yeah, I get it, man.
I
Plus,
got to sort out some long range plans.
mhm.
I know I'm being very vague about all this stuff, but
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to finalize a bunch of really important items before I head out, like, on a Huck Finn adventure. So,
Touring just gets harder and harder too, the older you get, and being away from home gets more and more of a drag. And we're not 22 anymore when you're just like, all right, yeah, I'll go out there for months and months. Who cares?
yes,
Uh,
and I'm still technically a newlywed, man. Like I just got married
yeah.
like 6 months ago at this point. So,
Was it? Wow.
yeah,
Is that long already?
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just real quick. So, Bill Skarsgård is 6'4".
Wow, really?
Yeah, so he's a big guy.
That's like almost like very noticeably tall. Like
That's
when
like,
that when
yeah, he
someone
looks like
that
an
tall walks
athlete.
in, yeah,
Yeah,
walks into a room, everyone's gonna notice that.
yeah. Alexander Skarsgård, you figure that dude's huge because he's played like Vikings and these fucking kind of like tough guy characters.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then their dad just looks kind of like this frumpy, like professor dude.
He's probably like 6'5".
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's probably 8 feet tall or something.
yeah,
He always plays that dude, like the scientist, the professor. Like that seems to be
exactly.
his wheelhouse. And he's got these kids that are fucking, Vikings.
Yeah,
Good for him.
yeah, totally. So let's give a rundown of the bros here. So we're trying to get that thing together. It's like I wanted to do it earlier, but now we're like
30 minutes
30
in.
minutes in. So if you're listening to this show, you are most likely a fan of the other horsemen of the podcasting apocalypse. So kicking things off every other Monday, we've got Brandon Legion's Horror Wolf 666. Up next on Tuesday, we've got Jackie Smith's Into the Necrosphere, the greatest extreme music podcast in the land, hands down. I don't even listen to other music podcasts except for Into the Necrosphere. Up on Wednesday, we've got Everything Went Black, which, if you're listening to this, you probably know that I have another podcast called Everything Went Black, as well as Iblis Manifestations, brought to you by the great Cheyenne of Trivax. Thursday, as well as being Necro Thursday, where the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast comes to you, we have day one of Soul Knox, brought to you by Carl Hikara. Friday, Spitball Media comes at you, which is a irreverent pop culture podcast. Sometimes we cover the same ground, but they go off into other areas too, like pro wrestling and sports and stuff like that. Saturday is a day off, and we're coming into the winter months, so make sure you guys buy some warm clothes, some mittens, scarves, things like that, because you're going to
Yeah,
need it, especially if you live up here in the Northeast. Sunday, the sinister minister Carl Hikara returns with day two of Soul Knox. And there you go. That's a full plate of content for you guys.
absolutely.
Yeah. If you want to call us on the Necrophone, you can get at us at 908-913-0782, 908-913-0782. And we welcome all of you guys to drop us a line. We don't have any calls this week, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we love the recommendations, the comments,
Yeah,
just call, say hi, whatever
yeah,
you want to do.
yeah. I think it's fun. I love finding out about other stuff. Like a lot of a lot of the listeners that people who call in have recommended movies I never even heard of. So that's awesome.
I would say most of the calls are movies I've never heard of, and I am over here like I've seen everything, and apparently I've seen nothing.
Well, I mean, like I think Mike from out in Pennsylvania, from Telford, he has come up with some seriously obscure films that I've watched, and we need to actually kind of like cover some of these stuff too, you know.
Was he the one who brought up the house with laughing windows?
Yes, and I bought the DVD on his recommendation, and I definitely want to do that one.
Hmm. I saw that back when I was in the band, so I seen it a while ago, and I remember it being pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, it was great, and we should put that on our list for sure of upcoming episodes.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have talked about that one than the one we're about to talk about.
Well, let's make sure so okay. Well, that brings us to this week's feature film, Manor of Darkness,
hmm
UK production. Written and directed by Blake Ritter, who actually has a small cameo in this film. And I'm not familiar with his work.
Nor am
Uh,
I.
he has I'm going to name the feature films he's done: Spill, Help, and The English Teacher. Okay. This is about to come out on December 9th, 2025, streaming only, digital release, no theatrical release, and it is 85 minutes in duration.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Yeah. Just very small cast, which typically stuff like that works in favor of the film. But
Yes.
yeah, the cast includes Lewis James as Chris, Kim Spearman as Laura, Sarah Alexandra Marks as Lisa, Rui Shang as Andy, Stuart Wolf Gray as Lucas, and Blake Ritter, who has a small little appearance in the film at the end as David. Okay.
Ah, okay, that was him. All
Yep.
right.
Yeah. So quick byline. A group of imposter filmmakers are stuck in a never-ending nightmare of the manor. So it's one of these like time loop style films.
Yeah, that sort of describes the movie, I guess. Um, I just want to start it off on a positive note.
Okay.
The actress that played Laura, I thought was quite good.
Yeah.
I thought she did actually overall I thought most of the acting was pretty solid. To tell you the truth, like Laura and Chris's mother had a small part in the movie, and I thought she was good too. And I kept thinking I recognized Laura from other films. Like at first I thought she was the actress who was in Oculus. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah.
film. Like,
That's a good
yeah,
movie. Yeah,
it
definitely.
is. It's really good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't her. She has a quality, let's say. I don't know. I could see her going on to being an actual movie star.
I mean, I thought in general the acting was good. Like even the guy who played her brother, Chris, the Lewis James. Um, like this is the thing. It's like he's a scumbag, right?
Yeah, 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 sure. Yeah, okay.
Criminal, kind of never do well sort of guy. And in his face, he kind of portrays that though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's one of those like a James McAvoy where he could play like the charming nice guy, but he's also a piece of shit. Like
Right.
he can occupy that space quite well. Like I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's like a subtle thing that I definitely want to give him credit for that because that's just like, just a look or a demeanor that he was able to put on to cast doubts on his character early on. Like you're kind of like, this guy doesn't really add up. You know what I mean? Like there's something about this guy that seems very untrustworthy.
I think it was the denim jacket.
Yeah, the denim jacket and the scene where they're breaking into someone's house. But
For me, it was the denim jacket.
yeah.
Um, Never trust anyone who wears a denim jacket, and in this new millennium.
Right, but like out of the box though, you don't really see all that stuff. You just kind of see him as this guy and
That's
he's
true.
having dialogue and then but you're not sure about him, you know what I mean, right away. You can pick up on some vibe that he has where this guy is probably not completely truthful.
Sure, yeah, and the character Laura is under some heavy guilt, which I think she wears that in the film too. Like I said, I think she had a great presence in this movie, and given a better script, I think it would have been a better performance. But as it is, it's a good one.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, I was gonna say, and there's some other performances in the movies that stand out as being not very good. So when you put that against someone who can actually act, they look even better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would say that, they definitely stand out in the film. So the basic apparently this had another alternate title called The Manor.
I think that's a better title, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I agree. You
Like
know,
Manor of Darkness sounds like some 15-year-old kids trying to like start like a black metal band and trying to be dark, but they're suburban kids. The drummer probably works at Chuck E. Cheese or something like that.
Manor of Darkness as a title would work for maybe an Italian film or some European film, I think too. Well,
Yeah,
I
made
mean,
in like
technically this is Europe.
73. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
technically this is European. It's like UK based, but like mainland Europe, you know.
I agree. I think The Manor would have been just overall a better title, but whatever. Minor nitpick.
Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, Laura is apparently Laura and her brother Chris have not been in contact for a while. And so they reconnect because their mother is terminally ill. Now, the first couple of scenes of this movie, I was kind of scratching my head as to what the hell is actually going on because it's like I was trying to connect all this stuff.
Me too. This movie moves at a very odd pace, to which is to say, this movie has like no pace at all or rhythm to it in the beginning. So that threw me off right away. You get a little sort of cold open that tells you nothing really, other
Yeah,
than there's a guy with a beard and there's some CGI smoke that gets into the room he's in. And
yeah.
then you meet them. And I was left thinking, well, who is this guy? What was the point of that scene? He comes back later, but I don't think not enough information was given in that cold open to really justify its existence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to kind of bypass all those scenes in the beginning because I think the reality, this movie should have started right when they show up at the manor.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking the same thing. This is
Yeah,
not an hour and 20-minute movie. This should have been like a 30-minute short because there is a lot of time before they get to the manor and none of it matters at all.
yeah. I don't think they even get to the manor until like maybe what, like half an hour in, really.
At least,
And
yeah.
and none of the development prior to that really serves the pacing of the film.
No, not at all. I see it as trying to give these characters a backstory, but none of it is presented in a way that really grabs you, and in the end, it feels completely unnecessary to the plot
Yeah,
at
I think
all. Like,
I think a lot of that background probably could have been told better using flashbacks or something like that.
yeah, something like that. I mean, there's this big schism between Laura and her brother, and we see why. But again, that has no bearing on the actual plot, which I thought it would, given the situation they were in.
Yeah,
And it ends up being nothing. And this whole idea that it says in the byline, like they're pretending to be a documentary crew. Why? Like it holds no importance at all. Like they show up to the manor, they don't have any camera equipment. They're thieves. If something goes missing, it's going to be pretty fucking obvious who did it.
yeah. No, I mean, some serious lapses here in logic.
Yeah, serious
Yeah,
lapses in logic, and why make them thieves at all? Why not make them an actual documentary crew?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, if there's going to be a conflict between the brother and her, make it, it could have something more to do with that, with work. But as it stands, I mean, not only does this movie not have any pace or tone or anything, there's no tension in any of these scenes. Everything just falls dead flat.
Yeah. And so the real impetus for them being in this place is that there's some artifact that's very valuable. Okay. And as I mentioned before, Chris is a criminal. He's a thief. There's one of the opening scenes they show him, and this kind of comes back to, but it's kind of insignificant, really, what happens. It's like
Yeah, I
like
agree.
they show him like breaking into someone's house, and he has and apparently his sister was also involved with some of these capers, and she'd been out of it for a while, and they wanted to do one last score. Okay.
Yeah.
And they find out about this basically a castle, like a manor that this guy lives in that has some artifact in it that's very expensive. And so the characters, the Lucas is the owner of this manor, and he hires them. Now, this is the other thing too. It's like he hires these guys to make a documentary about the house because he claims to have seen his deceased wife's ghost there. So it's like, you know, to document this whole thing. But like it's just, why these people,
That's
And
exactly what I
because
wrote
they don't
down.
have, like, if I was going to ask someone to make a documentary, right, I would want to see their real, like give me some highlights of the stuff you've done, maybe do a little background information on what films they might have made, like that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it makes no sense that he would hire them. None at all. And if you're going to do this backstory about them being criminals, start with that, like how exactly they got to the score, how they, set everything up, like, created this ruse that they're filmmakers. You don't see any of that.
Yeah.
And that would be interesting, I think.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then, so there's also maybe the argument you can make that Lucas that there was some master design that these people would be the ones, right? But they don't really cover that though either.
No, they
You
don't.
know, it's like
Like,
it's pretty much random that they're there. That he's trying, like, there's nothing to back up that claim that there was a grand design that these particular people would be the ones to be in the house during this period of time.
right, nothing about it makes it. I mean, the fact that Lucas even owns that manor doesn't make a lot of sense. They kind of present it as like a real estate agent is showing him around. Like this is like an old manor. It doesn't seem like it would just go on the market. Like you
No.
can go on like Zillow and be like, oh, here's a place to, $2 million. Sure, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Um, but whatever. I mean,
I mean, the thing is about this, like this, if I just like read the main elements of this story, it could be interesting. It could be a good story.
yes,
There's a relic, there's an old house, there's all this, like, sort of like time slip stuff that happens, like, ghosts, like that stuff. It'd be a great story, you know?
totally agree. I think there is a kernel of a very good idea in this movie. The idea, it just needs to be completely rewritten, reshot, and
Yeah.
recasted. But the idea, like, I like time loop movies. What came to mind watching this was Triangle. I think
Yeah.
you've seen that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
That was a
was
great movie. Yeah.
really great movie. This could have had potential to be in that conversation, but I mean, it's so just drops the ball at every corner, at every moment. Like nothing lands. Like, okay, you have uh, um the brother and the sister don't get along. He pulls a job saying they're breaking into some lady's house. Turns out that lady is their school teacher, but he lied to his sister about who it was. And then for no reason at all, he kills her.
Yeah.
kills, and none of that is important to the story. We later see the ghost of that woman in the house, but it has no bearing at all. Now you
Yeah.
mentioned that Chris is a scumbag, but he doesn't seem like that kind of scumbag, like
No,
a
he doesn't seem like a
murderer.
murderer. He seems like a petty thief more like that. Yeah.
Yeah, not a cold-blooded killer. And you think, okay, maybe they're setting up a redemption or something. Nope, none of that. He just kills this person for no reason, and we see that part for no reason, has no bearing on it whatsoever.
There is a moment in the movie when they first get to the manor, right? Where they're before Lucas shows up, the first iteration of this, when they're walking through the place, that I kind of was like, oh, okay. There was a moment that had some atmosphere.
I can't believe you just said that. I thought the same thing. They're walking down the hallway
Yeah.
and the camera's tilted a little bit.
Yep.
Like something is off here. That's
Right.
the one moment I thought in the film that really worked.
And I was like, okay, now we're getting into the film. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. I was like, okay, we're doing some, some like Giallo-esque, Fulci kind of stuff, maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
100%.
that moment was fleeting, let's say.
It was. Yeah. Like that moment I was like, okay, I'm willing to forgive everything that just came before it if this section of the movie is really good.
Exactly. I was on the same page with that.
Yeah. And because I like time loop movies, but even that, I mean, did you really make sense of any of this? Like nothing seemed to connect for me.
Um, no, not really, man. I got to be honest. Like, so just moving forward through this thing, there's a box in the basement, okay? And that's the same box that we see in the beginning of the movie, but it's just kind of out in the open, really. It's not
Yeah.
hidden or anything. It's not like walled up in a wall behind bricks or anything like that, which, you would think you would go to that kind of trope really in this sort of film, we have to look for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that cold open could have been Lucas Fike doing housework, which he was doing. It could have shown him like, like hitting something in the wall, it collapses. Oh, what's this?
Yeah,
But yeah, like you said, it's just there.
yeah. And Laura is the one to open the box, and that's kind of how the whole thing starts. And it has something to do with her being the one to initially open it, and then shortly afterwards, Lucas shows up, and this guy like kind of overacted like a motherfucker. You know what I
He,
mean?
he he did, but I liked him.
No, he was cool, but he was like chewing the scenery. But like
Oh
this
yeah.
this is the thing though. It's like I'd never seen this guy before at all. This actor, Stuart Wolf Murray.
No.
But he rolled up like he was like Christopher Lee or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man, that's spot on. Yeah, you're
yeah,
totally right.
like he shows up and he's like the actor in him is like, all right, everyone knows who I am, man. Like here, I'm gonna do my thing now. And
That
it was like a guy I'd never fucking seen before.
yeah, he is really yeah, like you said, chewing it up, man. That beard too, again, like 90% of the character was that beard.
Yeah, the beard. He looked like he was in like Gorgoroth or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he looked like he was in some like Norwegian black metal band or
Like he
something.
looked
Like,
he looked like a black metaler when they don't have their corpse paint on and their hair is tied back.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and they would live in a fucking manor like
Yeah.
that.
Like he looks like one of those dudes in those bands when they just get off the bus. Like when the show, like when you're loading in. Like
Hmm.
they just get off the bus and they get coffee and like hang out in the fucking green room.
I love it's so funny when you see that. I remember going to see my friends in Mogwai and they were touring with Interpol and we're backstage and you just see one of them wander by wearing like track pants. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, all right, they don't sleep in suits. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. But I gotta say, I did like his performances over the top and grand as it was.
Yeah.
He had a spark to him that I think not many else on the screen had. Like we should mention they wrote this guy into it. What was his name? I wrote it down. Alex or something, the Asian dude.
Andy.
Andy. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't want to call him the Asian guy, but I just did. So okay, whatever. Um, he's terrible in the movie, I have to say. I don't
His
think
his
he's
acting is horrible, and also his the point of him being a character there, it's not clear to me why he's even a character. They could have did it as a three-piece here, you know?
Exactly. There's a whole scene in a bar that I had to rewind. What is happening? Why is this scene happening? Like they meet this guy in a bar and he's some sort of pickpocket. He tells him this bizarre story about having a kid and he needs a lawyer and that's why he's a criminal. He meets this like bar hag that he's like she's just there, and then the next scene they're at the manor. Like okay, that was utterly pointless.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think English is his first language. I don't want to be too harsh on him, or maybe it is. I don't know, but he was very hard to understand.
Yeah, no, they could have easily not had him in the film. I mean, from my reckoning, the only reason why he existed because he's the one who allegedly had all the cameras,
Which we never
which
see.
we never see. Because remember, he says that it's like, oh, I've got a ton of cameras,
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot so much about this movie. I
and I
fell
was like,
asleep
all
like
right,
three times.
well, where were the cameras at? You know,
Yeah,
like, I
it.
I mean, that's the only reason why I could see him being a character is he had, it's like how Michael Anthony probably got into Van Halen, like he had the PA or owned the van or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, like that's this guy has the cameras, so we got to bring him along and cut him into this like illegal activity that we're doing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That information was given out in the bar scene. You're right. I
But
was
it's
just saying,
like
yeah, like,
it's so it just felt so contrived and forced though. You know what I mean?
yeah, like again, it would have made more sense if they were an actual documentary crew.
Yeah, I agree. And that
And
would have been more interesting to me. But the thing is, too, it's like Lucas even says something to them about, well, all right, you could have gone a couple different ways with this. He was like, Chris says, we're not ghost hunters, right?
mhm,
And then Lucas is like, yeah, most of them are full of shit. That's why I wanted a real documentary team to do this, right?
who have no credits to their
Who
name.
have no credit. Right, exactly. Now, that you're correct 100% in saying that. They should have actually been there to make a documentary. And this film would have flowed so much easier because they wouldn't have had to have all this weird background scenes in the beginning. It could have just been simplified to like where we make documentaries on, whatever, like we do animal documentaries or something or true crime or something like that. And then this
Yeah,
guy was like, okay, cool. I want to make a film about this house. I want it to be factual in because, under the pretense that it'd be factual because I don't want some full of shit ghost hunters in here.
right. And you could have had some conflict where like some people are apprehensive about doing the job, but someone they really need the money. And this guy's offering a ton of money because he
Yeah,
really needs it, like a Wicker Man situation where like they
exactly,
she
dude.
needs them.
Yeah. And also like Safe Haven, the fucking VHS, the greatest entry into VHS ever. They were
Yes.
they were a documentary film crew that went into like cover this guy, and then all this
Yeah.
hell breaks loose.
And you could have spliced in some like actual like found footage type of feel to this, so anything to give it some life.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
another thing I want to point out throughout the movie, we see that these people who are going to the house have these flashes of something unexplainable. They're having these dreams where Chris has a girlfriend. Again, her character is just sort of there.
Yeah.
Um, he sees her like covered in blood in the kitchen. She sees a hand come under the stall in the bathroom while I don't know, she's taking a dump, whatever. Like you get flashes of that, and you think, okay, like the house needs these specific people, and this is all being orchestrated to serve a bigger purpose, but it's not. So, what was their connection? Why were they having these like sort of supernatural hallucinations? That's never really quite explained.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's just a lot of clutter in this movie that
A
just
lot.
could have been edited out in the script or streamlined, and this thing would have been like a little sleeker, in the viewing.
100%, 100%. Like I mean, they don't have much there, but a tight 20-minute film, maybe. But yeah, you could get rid of that first half hour
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, and so really what's going on is they get stuck in this time loop where they keep reliving the same moment with Lucas when he enters the house. And slowly he's revealing to only Laura, since she was the one who found the box and opens the
Right. Okay.
box.
I was a little confused for a minute as why Laura was the only one realizing she's in a loop.
Yeah.
But she opened the box. You're right. Okay. I forgot. That was one of the many times I fell asleep watching this. So,
Yeah. So it turns out that Chris uh has also been reliving this whole thing. I'm not sorry, not Chris. Lucas has also been reliving these moments too because his wife killed him, and we find out at the end.
yes. Yes. Lucas is a ghost or something.
Yeah,
Mm,
and they're trying to break. He wants out of this whole cycle, right? He wants
yeah.
to finally have some peace, and go into the great beyond, leave this mortal coil, you know. So that's what the group of Chris, Laura, Lisa, and Andy are. They're to him a means to end all this stuff, right?
Right. So they were somewhat lured under false pretenses, but not them specifically.
Yeah. Then
Um,
a bunch of confusing stuff happens, and then and finally they realize they can't defeat this spirit in there, this like sort of entity that's stalking everyone that comes out every night from the box.
mhm.
So they decide to sacrifice someone. That's what it's either sacrifice is the way out of this thing, apparently. All right.
Which is
So
a cool idea.
yeah. And they're like, okay, cool, we'll kill Lucas. Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the very, very last moment, we learn that in order to get out of the time loop, you have to kill someone that you love.
Hmm.
So as Laura is driving the knife into Lucas, we see that in reality, she stabbed Chris, her brother.
This is one of the most overacted scenes I've ever watched in my life when they're
Yeah.
like blubbering to each other. Like it was so bad. And these are the good actors in the movie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess in a better movie, that scene would have a lot of weight to it. It'd be pretty powerful. But
Yeah.
as it stands in this movie, it's fucking goofy.
Yeah. It's really, really, and it doesn't, there's no indication of any of this stuff. You know what I mean? It's very spur of the moment and very, I feel like the script was hastily written or someone got involved in editing it and added all this stuff. I don't know. It's just the script just doesn't work really.
Not at all. It doesn't make any sense. And they seem to be making like making it up as they went along. Like, oh, you need
Yeah.
to kill someone you love. Why? What
Yeah.
is this thing? Don't know. Um, I guess Lucas's wife killed him to get out of her loop.
Yeah.
Again, like, man,
We
this
don't
it's
they,
cool, interesting idea, but as it's like it just you don't really get anything out of this.
no, and ultimately it was just the whole thing was kind of disappointing. So they're out of Lucas is out of he's out of the hot seat as being the caretaker of this place. And we believe that the end has come to this cycle, but we see in the falling action, the denouement of this drama, that another couple comes into the house, and this is played by Blake Ritter, the male counterpart in this couple, who is the writer and director of this film. And lo and behold, who steps through the door? But Chris. Chris
Yes.
has taken over the role of caretaker of the Manor of Darkness.
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Yeah,
In a Hitchcockian moment, there's a director cameo. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and cool idea, a little Shining-esque. But it just lands with a giant thud.
yeah,
And we see Laura at the end and her mom, and she's okay, and she's moving on in life and happy. And yeah, Chris is forever stuck there. And At one point I kind of woke up after falling asleep for a few minutes and the and Andy was naked and like what in the fuck is going on? Like
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to discuss that. It's just
I mean I couldn't find any rhyme or reason for that to be happening. Like he's just naked and for like a few minutes stretch of this movie and Laura's seducing him and it was just very, very deeply silly.
yeah. So at the end of the day, what would you rate this film? What would you give it?
Oh boy. Well, I can't say it wasn't entertaining, but it was entertaining for the wrong reasons. For a kernel of a good idea and some decent performances, I give this one and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I give it a two, but yeah, it's definitely a C minus effort, really.
I'm saying maybe like a D plus.
D
Yeah.
plus, yeah.
I know this guy, he's obviously a younger filmmaker, doesn't really have a lot under his belt. Clearly didn't have a lot of money to make this. I think if this was his idea, he should say, "Hey, I had this idea," and pass it on to maybe someone who could flesh this story out. Because there's a good idea there. There is.
Well, yeah, he wrote and directed this, and that's the thing. It's like it was maybe that's he should have employed someone else. You know what? Being a young filmmaker, man, fucking Benson and Moorhead were young filmmakers.
Very true.
And the
Yeah.
only reason I bring them up is their whole trip is like these time loop films, you know?
Yeah. 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 Exactly. I don't know why I didn't mention that earlier. Yeah. Watch one of their films instead.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
This is a disaster as it stands. Like, I imagine this will be released very quietly and watched by people who are just flipping through Amazon looking for something to watch. And this is like, a 99-cent rental.
Or probably on Tubi maybe too, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. This has got Tubi written all over
definitely,
it.
man. Tubi viewing.
Yeah.
I
Tubi's got all
they got a
kinds
lot of
of
good
movies.
stuff
Yeah.
though, man. But a lot
They
of you'll
do.
find
Yeah.
stuff like this on there too.
Flipping through Tubi, and there's always at least 10. I'm like, I've never heard of that. And it's some like super low budget horror movie that came out this year that just got, never gets mentioned. I feel like this is going to be one of those
Yeah,
movies. And I wish the filmmaker luck with his next project, but this wasn't it, man. Not at all.
definitely. Strong performances by Stuart Wolf Murray, Lewis James, and Kim Spearman for sure.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see them in more stuff. Like real quick, I looked up Stuart Wolf Murray, and he's been in a few things, but they don't like it. Once again, in his photograph on IMDb, like it looks like a band photo for Marduk or something. But like he looks, but he hasn't really been in anything in the genre though. It seems like he's mostly like I haven't heard any of these films, but like maybe haunting trophies
Mm.
that came out last year.
I got to imagine these are like friends of the director who worked for almost nothing. That's kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah. See this actually sounds pretty cool. A young man hiking deep in the woods finds a female corpse manipulated in a bizarre manner. Shocked by the discovery, the man realizes that he is not alone in the scene. The murderer starts hunting him in order to protect his identity. That's
That
the guy who played Lucas is in this.
that actually does sound good.
Yeah. And it's foreign. It looks like actually judging by the names, it looks like maybe Eastern European.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Mm.
But speaking of Benson and Moorhead, when are we going to get another film by them, man?
I know. I feel like we did their last one quite a while ago at this point. When I was living in LA still? Could that be
No, no,
possible? No.
no, no. Maybe.
Uh, I liked their last film quite a bit.
Yeah.
Something in the Dirt. That was they've been doing, a lot of stuff with Marvel, doing like
Yeah.
some of their T, which is disappointing to say the least.
But good for them because getting paychecks is cool, you know?
It funds what they really want to do, is
Yeah.
what I would imagine. I think working on those I don't know what it's like to work for one, like, but I imagine directing those shows is more like directing traffic than like, artistic vision.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably like everything's done by committee, probably.
I would imagine, yeah, they're yelling cut and action and you stand here, you stand there. I don't get their style from anything they've directed for Marvel that I've seen. Because I know they did Moon Knight or some episodes, which I was crushed by, like how just not good that show was.
Yeah, dude, and Moon Knight's one of their better characters too. I mean, the Moon Knight comic books are great, for the most part, and that they could have done
Yeah.
so much with that character.
Really
Uh,
weird time for Marvel. Like it really
uh
transitional where they just didn't seem to know what the fuck they were doing.
I'm out. I'm out, honestly, dude, on all the Marvel stuff. I,
Yeah, yeah.
I've been out for a while on any comic book movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're continuing this universe that's been going on for almost 20 years. And, even comic book movies end certain storylines and then reboot. And I don't know why at the end of Endgame they didn't just say, "All right, we're starting fresh with something else." But
Yeah,
if
I
there's money to be made, they'll make
yeah,
it.
I'm out on all that. Any kind of comic book property that gets made into a film has to be some kind of independent thing. It can't be like a Marvel or DC thing for me anymore.
I still love Batman.
Well, Batman, yeah, Batman's different because that's a different approach. Or anything with the Joker would be cool, like the Joker two, the two Joker films that came out.
Yeah, one of them was good.
I like the second one, man.
Oh,
I thought the
that's
second one was
right.
cool. Yeah.
I really like Matt Reeves, what he's doing with this Batman universe. On the flip side, James Gunn is doing his thing with which he kickstarted with Superman, and there's going to be his version of Batman. And
Oh,
I'm a little
okay.
less thrilled about that than I am about Matt Reeves continuing his vision of Batman.
Yeah. I mean, well, those I'll check out for sure. But like the Marvel stuff is completely past me at this point.
It's shot. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
done. Put it down. Put it down.
Yeah. The Werewolf by Night
That was good.
short movie, that was great. And I wish they would have done more with that, but they just let that one go, I guess.
That was the coolest thing they've done of the new of the I guess the post Endgame Marvel. I thought that was the best thing they did.
Yeah. That Benson and Moorhead film, Something in the Dirt. I saw that in the theater with Rennie, actually. They played it at the Philadelphia Film Festival.
Really?
Yeah. And dude, packed house filled with fans.
Yeah.
It was fucking cool because, dude, I got on board with Benson and Moorhead when hardly anyone knew about them. Like they were just very, very out there, obscure. I remember reading about I forgot which one of the films it was.
Resolution.
Resolution was in. I read about it in Rue Morgue,
Yep.
and I was like, "Oh, this sounds great." So let me check it out. And I've been on board ever since, man.
Interesting factoid about something in the dirt. Joe Begos had a part in that movie that got cut.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I remember him saying it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm working with those guys. I'm acting in one of their films." And then come to find out, I'm like, "Where the fuck were you? You're not in the movie."
You
Like,
see, Begos and like the Benson and Moorhead crew, that's the future, man, if you ask me.
totally agree, man. Like, just completely independent. Fuck you. We're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, we've been big champions of these two groups. Because like Begos and Ethier and all those guys, like those are our kind of people, man. Like as it comes to filmmaking, and both camps check out their films. My favorite Begos probably is fuck, dude.
Bliss. Bliss is my favorite.
Yeah, yeah, Bliss, probably my favorite. Bliss. Yes, I
Yeah.
was trying to rethink that for a minute. Which one? The Christmas one was pretty sick too.
Yeah, I think he hit his stride with Bliss. I think it was his third movie, and that's when that style he's sort of like you could see it developing the neon and the hyper violence was always there, but he started to I think really build his craft, and now he has a discernible style that is his own. You can recognize it as like, yeah, that's a Joe Begos shot.
Yeah,
And I loved Jimmy and Stiggs. I thought the movie
yeah.
was a ton
Uh,
of fun.
oh yeah, that was great. Definitely.
Yeah.
Two people, two
Yeah.
actors. That's it.
Yeah, crazy. During COVID, he just trashed his apartment making that movie. It's amazing.
Well, all right, everyone. Thanks for listening. and we'll catch you next week.
Take care, everyone.
Took a picture